Tell me when you're ready. Good morning, welcome to Brooklyn. My name's Arrojo. I'm here with Mr. J to the P to the R of a T.
What's up, guys? Good morning. That's all I got for you. I don't got a freestyle.
You got in a car this morning and drove where?
Here to Brooklyn from Nyack.
From Nyack. And you work at our good ambassador's flagship salon. It's called? D'Anthony in the house.
Yep.
And it's great to see you. If you ever want to come down and hang out with us at Brooklyn Live, you're allowed. You can come and see Corinne, who's in her kimono. Woof woof. We're going to call her today Kimono Corinne. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, it's great.
On a date last night?
Maybe.
Exposed here on Brooklyn Live. This is Alia, and we got a great cut for you today. All the way, we flew her in from the Ukraine. She just got off the plane last night.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just for Nick.
Yeah, just for me.
Look
at this great cut that we're gonna do.
Awesome.
So that's our inspiration.
A big change.
It's a big change. Have you ever had short hair like this?
Never.
Are you scared?
I am, but not in your hands.
Ah.
In your hands, I'm not scared.
Morning,
Is it,
Derek.
Mom? Hey, Dee.
We got Derek Mosier and Derek Maldonado.
Oh, good. Listen, Mr. Dees. Look, I think there's some undercutting in here. If we look at this closely, short around the front, some undercutting through the sides. I can see some soft layers on the top. So we'll cut the underneath shorter, then we're going to start to move into length. The last time we did short hair, we did it with scissor. Olia's got a lot of hair. We're going to do it with a razor, but my scissors are right here. Joe shampooed for us. He prepped the hair. We'll zone in. We use the Arrojo Color Save shampoo. Arrojo Color Save shampoo. It's got essential proteins, vitamin B5, as well as a color-saving complex. And then we went in with our whip treatment with olive oil and shea butter, and it's also a color protector. So we prep the hair with both these products. Now I'm going to use this little bit of black magic here. This is healing oil. And healing oil is going to give the hair a little slip. Now what happens, it's also going to put a little bit more moisture in the hair. Because clearly this hair's been lifted. And when you cut hair with a razor, when it's been through so much lifting, it's had like a double process, then what's going to happen is there's a good chance the blade's going to slide right off, even though it's a super sharp razor blade. So she tends to push your hair more towards the left. I'm going to start this haircut through the back. I'm going to be pretty aggressive as I come through the back. I'm going to start, I'm literally going to section out here, quite a deep angle from just above the occipital bone. I'm going to angle it. I'll clip it out of the way so that it's nice and clean. And one of the things that you want to be very cautious of when you're doing this type of a cut is you want to be very cautious of being too, you can bring that back a little bit for us, Joe, is being a little bit, don't be too scared. Yeah, it's really important. You've got to be as aggressive as you possibly can be. I'm going to take my straight edge razor, place the razor. We call this the tang. The tang sits right at the crease of the middle finger. And then we're going to close the hand. We push. So now we have the blade ready for action. And you'll notice when the thumb moves, means that we've got that fluid action. It's not really the full arm. We're literally just working with the tip. We just study Olia's hairline. Look, it grows all the way up. All the way up. It's all the way up. One of my favorite records. Who sings that, Corinne?
I don't know.
Wow, that's it. You're fired. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start right in the center. I'm going to start to take this in nice and tight. and it's important for me to start with vigor. And the first few sections are going to tell me, how the blade's going to react to this pre-lightened hair. We do have the color formula for you. So just I'm opening the blade, and the reason why I'm starting from inside, I'll stay on this side. Typically speaking, I'd go side to side, but in the interest of having a better camera angle, I'll stay on this side. I'm going to cut from the inside to the back of the ear, and by doing that, I'm going to work against the grain of the hairline. So instead of the hairline jumping, if I was cutting from the outside in, that would cut that nice and tight. I'm going to work against the grain of the hairline. We're going to go short, and we're going to keep it soft, and we're going to make her look very hip, cool, soft, attractive. You have to be careful, because when you cut hair short, it does thicken up, and she does have a lot of hair. So the judgment here is really important, to be as aggressive and as assertive as possible. What I'm actually trying to do, you see when you get these hairline areas here, you can just pinch and melt. I'm working with a straight edge razor, so the blade has no guard on it. If I need my scissor, and I presume I will work with my scissor later on. But for now, by working with a razor and using what I call an open flat stroke, I'm creating quite a bit of softness in the hair. And you'll notice every time I cut, by the way, I went quiet. You'll notice every time I cut, you'll notice that I rotate the comb and comb the hair to see exactly how it's sitting, which is part of how we teach razor cutting. And if you want to learn some razor cutting, I'm going to be in the Midwest is Best on the 15th of May, and I will be teaching a razor fundamentals class. It's a one-day class. It's $400. But we have a special code today. If you sign up today or tomorrow, you can get that razor class with a 10% discount. The discount code is EXPO, and the razor class will be $360 for the day with me.
Nick, we've got our first question.
Yes.
Funny comments too, but Ashley Akers is asking, are you following your first cut as a guide or keeping it the same length all the way up?
Well, I'm working all the way up, and I'm using the guide below, and I'm not trying to build weight up just yet. If I build weight up just yet, it's going to start to create too much of a bubbled effect. Therefore, by coming down flat on top of the hair, I would say it's probably going to be less than a half a centimeter longer at the top than it is at the bottom. So it's very gradual. But when we cut hair with a razor, it's very sketch-like. So what I mean by that, you're a little bit more fluid because you are on the go and you're letting the hair talk to you a little bit more. If you watch my short haircut with a scissor, you'll notice that I'm following lines. When I do short hair with a razor, I'm still following lines, but the lines I'm following are soft. Slightly different feel. This is my final section, and I'll just keep it a smidging longer just right here. But remember, because we're razoring the hair out, what's happening is it's making it softer and flatter. When you razor hair using the flat of the blade, you create some space. When you create some space, even when the hair's short, you get a little bit more forgiveness. So even though the hairline grows in, by razoring it from the inside out, we've got a nice feel right in here. I think you might need to move around onto this side now, Corinne, because we've completed that side.
Yep, and we've got another question. Charlie Cash from Philadelphia is asking, did you prep the hair with product? If so, what was it?
Yeah, this is my only product that I prep the hair with, Charlie. Healing oil. It's a beautiful product. This product is a precious oil. It comes in a can. It's a sunscreen. It's a blow dry speeder upper. With the precious oils, it adds moisture. And it's a glossing spray. And it's giving this hair just a little bit more slip. Typically speaking, we work with hydro mist, but the reason why we have so many different products is it gives us some choices when it comes to creating the looks that we need. And also, with this hair being pre-lightened, a little bit more moisture is going to help me as we get towards the end of the cut.
Great. Ogie Pineda is asking, is it a graduated cut? And Eric Estrada is asking why you're working on one side of the head and then back to the other side.
It's going to have a little graduation through it, but I would try and classify this more as a short rounded layer. In here, there is a slight graduation because it's not flat, so it's slightly graduated. And in reference to cutting one side and then cutting the opposite side, I'm purely doing that for the camera angle. In the salon, I would cut one side, one side, one side, one side. But because we have the lovely Corinne in her kimono behind me, I'm trying to play to the camera so that you can actually get to enjoy the haircut a little bit better and make it less confusing for you to see.
Great. Ashley Akers is asking, can you use that spray on all hair types?
Well, you know what? Those questions are always the weirdest questions because all hair types, I don't think I've even seen all hair types, even though I've been doing hair for 35 years. The healing oil is a product that will put a lightweight amount of moisture slip and shine in the hair, and it dries out when you blow dry. The reason why I decided to choose that today was because I don't want this hair to feel dry. I want this hair to have a little bit more of a soft, lived-in finish and have a feeling that the precious oils are going to help me to see and understand Olia's hair much better. She's going for a radical change. She's never had a hair shot like this.
I'm looking at the hair right now. I'm so excited. I'm like,
There it goes. And of course, you can't see anything right now. But soon, once we start to move into the sides, that's when she'll start to see. And also, that's when I've got to be very confident, because when she starts to see it, I've got to look confident so that she kind of resonates that confidence too.
Great. Just backtracking a bit to some comments. Pam Brantley said, it's Fat Joe and Remy Ma. We are all the way up. Shania Schroeder said, hi Nick, you're awesome. I've been watching you since I went to cosmetology school and I've learned so much. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Shania.
Nikki York said, this is the highlight of my week. Thanks for doing this so consistently.
Oh, you're very welcome. We're having a lot of fun sharing, not just education, but also, you know, kind of our inspiration on what we're doing.
Fernando Degano says, hello from Argentina.
Argentina! Wow.
We're going international.
Global, baby.
Jess Coxon says she looks hot with short hair, gorgeous face. And got a few other good mornings.
Good. Well, good morning, everybody. So we kind of finished the back, but now it's time for a little detailing. So when you're working with a razor, it's nice to just use your fingers. Always keep an eye on the blade. You want to have the full plane of the blade. With this being a straight edge razor, you want to always have full vision of the blade so you know that you're really safety first. And when you're in these hairline areas, you can pinch and you can melt away. And we're really trying, by cutting from the center, we're trying to get that short head to push that hair forward. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to tighten it up with a scissor. The hair's growing this way, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come across, and I'm just going to try and take a little bit more of the outline away. Working with my B-Max shears. We do also, so we've 2 promo codes today. The promo code for Arrojo Pro, where we have all of our tools. The promo code is EXPO. The website is Arrojo Pro. That's because it's all about our professional tools. We're also selling that razor class that I'm teaching in Chicago on the 15th. You can sign up for the class on arrojopro.com. It's going to be a 10 to 4 class. It's going to be hands-on all the time. And I'm going to come through this side. We'll tighten up this side before we move in. And then if you're interested in coming to see us, Corinne, Alex, Blaine, Courtney, we've got the Arrojo artistic team coming into Chicago May the 15th, and we're doing a small intimate show called Arrojo Expose, 2 hours of inspiration, American Wave. If you're interested in seeing American Wave, we're going to be sharing color techniques using Goldwell hair color on stage, and I'll be there cutting with my razor and scissor. So if you're interested, the tickets are only $25. Tickets are available from ArrojoExpo.com. That's on May the 15th. The show starts at 6 o'clock, is it, or 7 o'clock?
Doors open at 6:30.
So show starts at 7. And the tickets are $25, but we have a special code for today and tomorrow. The special code is EXPO, and your ticket is half price. So if you're interested, only for today and tomorrow will the tickets be half price. All right, I feel good about what we've done. I like that kind of soft feel. You see the soft feel? You want it to have that like softness, because that's going to give it that feminine feel and finish. Now it's time for me to reassess what we're going to do. So what we're going to do now is we're going to change it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Nick, we've got some questions too.
Great.
Linda Alvarado was asking, how high is that top section?
Just above the occipital bone, down to the middle back of the ear. I'm going to do a new sectioning pattern now. We like to do things that are new every time we work. I want to keep myself inspired. So I'm going to break this up. So we're going to cut. Now what I've done is I am just at the base where the head starts to round, and I've taken a section, you can see, like diagonal lines. And what we're going to do now is we're going to cut this the same length as this. I'm going to use a little bit of my healing oil, put that little bit of moisture. When the hair is lightened out like this, it's good for you to not overly keep the head down.
Is this product good for everyday use?
This product is great for use every day, but once I've finished the cut, I'll be able to really tell you what the best product's going to be. So just hold your high horses. Corinne, you come and stand on this side.
Great.
Let me come through here.
Questions. Ogie Pineda's asking, how many times did you process before you got that color? And did you use any kind of like an Olaplex product?
We don't use Olaplex. We never have used Olaplex. I'm not a big fan of Olaplex. I'm not an Ola hater. I don't hate Olaplex. But my business and my brand, we're completely committed to Goldwell. And when Olaplex came on the market, we did some in-house training where we sampled it because the team was so inspired by Olaplex. But once we sampled it, we realized that the Goldwell color was just as good. So we used the Silk Lift, and it's a very similar concept, not same product.
And the Bond Pro. Yeah.
And Bond Pro we do have now, and we will use Bond Pro, part of our Goldwell family. And that came out quite a bit after the Olaplex.
Ched Spangler is asking regarding the back sectioning that you were doing. He said, I do this cut using vertical sections. Why do you recommend almost horizontal sections?
Well, I'm using the flat of my blade, and I think that you can use vertical sections, you can use horizontal sections. If you go back through my videos, you'll see that we like to continually change the approach. When you change the approach, you get different finishes and different effects. Once you master one shape from a certain area, learn how to do it from another area. It's the nuances of cutting hair that will make your work better and stronger. And if you don't keep changing, guess what? Your work's always going to look the same, and you're going to get bored. I don't like to overcomplicate things, but I definitely like to play and change. So now she's starting to see some sharpness for the very first time. And now what we're going to do, thanks Joe, I like to work pretty clean with clips. Now what we're going to do is we've cut this from the back forward to give it a little bit of softness. And now we're going to come from the back behind the back of the ear. So last thing we want to do is cut the ear. I don't know if that might be good if you come around, Corinne. And you can see my fingers on top of the ear. Notice how I use the back of the blade, and I'm using the full plane of the blade. Okay. Just keep that in nice and sharp. I want this little bit of softness in the hair, this soft quality.
Nick, just to kind of reiterate for our viewers, Tim Bricker is asking, where's the expose in Chicago?
The expose in Chicago is at the
Greenhouse Theater.
Greenhouse Theater. It's an amazing intimate theater. We got room for approximately 150 people, and it'll be a nice intimate show, and we'd love you to come out and support us and hang out. They have a bar there at the beginning, so you can come in, get social, mix with the community, and then straight after the show, it's a great street. In fact, we'll be prepping in one of our ambassador salons, Natural Elements, which is on the same street. So we're excited to be in Chicago as we're building our connectivity and building our strength with our Chicago-based hair salons. So there's quite a few of them now that we're starting to build some real culture in Chi-Town. We'll be in Chicago this weekend teaching American Wave certification. There's a few spots left. We will be back Chicago on the 15th for the razoring class, and then we'll also be doing our expose. So we'd love for you to come and see us. And as far as American Wave goes, American Wave, we have certifications in New York on Sunday, and we also have certification in Minneapolis on the 22nd. Is it 22nd or the 23rd?
It's the 22nd.
Okay, so this is what we've done. Short, short, short. This is going to leave me some playful length that we're going to play in right here. Let's do the opposite side. We're going to go with a similar concept, but not the same. So on this side, I'm going to go higher. The reason being, I like a symmetry. I don't think you need to do everything perfectly symmetrical when you're cutting hair short. So again, we're going to clip it out. Clip. Clip. Section that right there. Again, we're going to cut from the inside forward, and then into the back. And that's kind of the foundation. I'm gonna keep using a little bit of this oil, which is our healing oil. It's gonna add shine and gloss to the hair. It's not gonna wet the hair down. So I'm also using a combination of Hydro Mist, which we use as a cutting lotion. It's our spray conditioner. Hydro Mist is $19. Healing oil, $22. There you go. Good. She's good. Yeah. She's cute. So if you're interested, get connected to our Arrojo Ambassador Program, because our Arrojo Ambassador Program is a connectivity piece that we do through Arrojo product, also through American Wave, and we can share our culture. Just a minute, guys. Corinne has just dropped the kimono. She's obviously getting hot. So Joe's here to help when Corinne starts to undress. Okay.
Nick,
now,
we've got some questions.
Come round on this side, because I think it might be hard to get in there, Corinne. Pass me that clip, Joe. I just want to see this, and then you can ask me some questions. Because when you're getting close to the ear, you want to be super careful when you're working with a straight edge blade. Safety is the most important. So you notice how it's nice and tight. I'm going to lift out. I start with the back of the blade, but notice how the cutting hand doesn't move. I'm really just placing the blade in. So very, very precise. And look at the line. I don't know if that's easy to see, but you can see the softness of the line. Yeah? Whatever the softness of the line is, that is in your fingers, is exactly the same as what's been left on the head. So it's a mirror image. And we're cutting from the widest part of the head, which is here. So this helps to narrow the shape, which will make the shape look better and softer. But just notice, flat of the blade, and I'm moving the blade down, flat, nice and tight.
Like a tiger.
Stop stealing my lines. Questions, Corinne?
Yes. Sandra Seeger is asking about the color. She said, which silk lift did you use? Was it ash? Was it beige?
Okay, why don't we'll dial into that color in a few minutes. Joe, why don't you just go and grab that Post-it? There's a Post-it right there. And why don't you read out what it says on that Post-it, nice and loud.
We got Oxy with 20 volume, and then the glaze for this was 40 mils of 10BS and 10 mils of 5NA.
So 20 vol with Oxy, and then the glaze was
40 mils of 10BS and 10 mils of 5NA.
Right there.
Boom.
Boom, shakalaka. Color was done by my very talented young colorist, Lauren. And she's always doing great color. In fact, she was in the final presentation, wasn't you?
Yes.
Oh,
she
nice.
was, yes.
That was Lauren's mom.
Nick, Ogie Pineda is asking, what is the disadvantage to using a razor on hair? Is it a cause of split ends?
No, the razor doesn't do the damage. It's the hairdresser that does the damage. Whoever's holding it, it's who's behind the razor that does the damage. Yeah? You know, the razor's as sharp as a scissor. It puts in what I like to call a lot of taper, a lot of softness. It's more fluid, because when you create space, and I can tell you, just keep watching and learning from us as we share our razor cutting. We have a unique way of razoring that we've developed over the years. You're going to come in this side, Corinne, so everyone can see. Side again. And now what we're going to do is we're going to come in behind the back of the ear. We'll finish this. So, you know, get right behind the ear. Take the ear. Hold it out of the way. Place over your finger. And right in. If you really want to study razor cutting, we're teaching razor cutting every week. We teach razoring we teach it on a regular basis. In fact, we have a 1-week bite-sized boot camp razor class coming up literally in a week from now. 5 full days of razor cutting, And it's $1,400 or $1,500. It's in our New York Academy. Contact Loretta at Arrojo, NYC, and join the class and learn razor cutting.
Nick, Meg Jessup was asking if you're skipping a section when you were starting out on this side. I think maybe just to clarify if it was hard for them to see.
If I was skipping a section, maybe she can ask the question again.
Yeah.
I didn't really skip a section. But what I will do once I finish this is I'm going to do a recap on what we've done so that everybody can see exactly where we're at. And I'm also going to refresh everybody that's maybe joined us through this cut. I'm going to show them the picture that Olia presented to me as her desired look.
Okay. She said, did you skip behind the ear and then go back? And she also asked if you're graduating.
I am not really graduating. It's the same length. It's the same length. If it was graduating, I'd be pushing it more like this. There's a slight graduation in the nape, but here it's more flat, because if I build up the shape, I'm going to create a bubble here. And I don't want any kind of bubbling and bubbling and bubbling around. No bubble for me, baby. But I'm using the flat of the blade, and the flat of the blade's very important. We say that this is the flat of the blade, and when we use it, you create what we call maximum softness, because we're using the flat of the blade.
Great. Maritza Hernandez asked, why color the hair first if you're going to cut off most of it anyway?
Well, because we're doing this on Facebook Live, so it's like a show. Yeah, that's why. So it's not like, oh, you have to, you know, it would be, if she was coming into the salon and she said, I want it cut short, I would take 10 sections and cut it down this length all over, and then we'd color it. But because this is for you guys at home, that's why I'm doing it this way.
Great.
Okay, picture out for me, please, Olia. Do you have your picture there?
Sure.
Let's show everybody what we
I'm
did.
just so focused on what you're doing.
I know you are. You're still breathing. That's good. Okay, so let's just dial this in again, because I want people to look at the detail. See the difference here. It's shorter and longer. You can see it's tighter through the nape. She gave me two pictures. They're both different. This one's slightly more graduated. This one's slightly less graduated. But you see the feel and the dimension in the hair. So let's just have a look and see what we did. Recap time. Rather than pre-section, we've sectioned the back here, and I started from the nape, and I worked with diagonal forward sections, and I used the flat of the blade to taper the hair flat. Then what I did was I came to the side and split it over the ear, so I got shortness here, and a little softness here. And when we went to the opposite side, I made it a little higher through here. So now if we come and look in the mirror, you can see we're getting this softness through here, the tightness, little flatter here, little longer here. Now it's time for me to take all of my clips. So this is kind of like a star type section, because she's a star. And when you do clip out like this, it's good, because guess what? You just focus on the piece in hand. In other words, you just focus on what you're actually doing. You don't have to worry about the whole haircut. So now let's just take these sections and comb this hair around, because honestly, I know what I want to achieve, but I don't know what my next step is. And I like that because it gives me a chance to think. You gotta think while you're cutting.
Really?
Yes, you do. So funny, Corinne.
I know, I tried. Nick, Ogie Pineda's asking why 45 degrees. I guess kind of clarity in were you using 45 or 90 degrees?
I
and
was
what
using
the
90
difference?
degrees approximately, lifting the hair straight out from the head, 90 degrees. That's what I was doing, straight out, straight out, straight out. Okay, there's like 100 ways to do this. Yeah, maybe not 100, maybe 99. But there's a lot of ways to do it, and I haven't done this technique in a long time. In fact, I don't know if I've even ever done this technique. I'm kind of making it up for us and for me so I can stay motivated. So right now, I think the most important thing for me to do is to focus in on the back. And I want to see what we've got. So what we're going to do is we're going to start. So let's just think this through. The shortest point is right here, just above the occipital bone. We want to create some length through the top. So let's think about trying to create some length in here. This being our this being our longest length, and maybe having a little bit more length that kind of doesn't necessarily connect, but maybe kind of visually blends. I'm going to stay on one side first. I'm going to stay on this side first. I'm going to continue to do a combination of hydro mist. Typically speaking, when I'm in the salon, I move quicker. But it's a lesson, so I'm taking a little bit more time. I'm using a combination of hydro mist and a combination of healing oil. I'm going to let this hair fall a little longer, so we have a little bit of an undercut, and I'm actually going to go a little squarer to the head shape. And I'm going to use a much more shallow angle as I work the profile. And you're looking through the hair, so when I'm looking through the hair, I'm seeing the guide fall away. It gets easier once you get into sections 2, 3, and 4. So the blade's more open now. With the blade being more open, and being open means that I'm moving that blade with a little bit more speed and width, which means it's going to get a lot softer. I'm working from the inside to the back of the ear, so that means I'm going to use some over direction, but I want to keep this hair nice and soft. So look how open the shape is, and just have a look and see how much softness we got right here. Very different from what I did on the underneath. This is going to create more looseness and more softness. Whenever the hair's been pre-lightened like this, the hair expands. She has a lot of hair, or should I say, she had a lot of hair. And now what we've got to do is make sure that we keep that blade nice and open, so we get a little bit more movement and softness in the shape.
Nick, you got a little bit of love here.
I'll just a little.
Just a little, no, a lot. Robert Thompson said, "Hi from Albany, New York. We love the new American Wave products.
Awesome.
Glint-
Thank you for the support.
Glint and Elixir are amazing."
Yes, they are so good. You know what? I agree with you. I'm so happy with the product. Oh, the American Wave product is right there for anybody that's interested. It's a 6 SKU line of hair product, all focused for curl, wave, and texture. If you're interested, just contact us at arrojonyc.com or Instagram me, and we'll get in touch with you and let you know how you can connect with Arrojo. American Wave, and American Wave literally is a $650 buy-in. So it's what I'd like to call a very achievable buy-in. And you can buy that product and sell it for over $1,600.
Nice. And Ian, Amazing Graham.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Ian.
He said,
I was waiting for you, Ian.
A little late than never. Loving the masterclass. Respect from Sonny Madchester.
Sonny?
And
I know he's lying.
He's got a question too.
Yeah.
He said, "I've been playing with similar looks with my guests when working the back. Would you play around with horizontal and vertical sections?
Yeah, you know, I did horizontal, now I'm doing vertical. Ian, once you start playing with that razor, you start to realize that it's like a pencil. Yeah, the more direct you hit the hair, it's like using the tip of the blade, and then the more of the side of the blade is like using the side of the pencil. Creates softness and smudginess. So you can just see here that we're starting to move into some length. And you know, here's the other good thing. She can't see it right now. So what that means, and look, there's the guide. Right, to see the guide. So as I pick it up, always coming in, I see it and feel it disappear. And it gives me the chance to find out whether I'm taking enough hair out before I get to the front and the sides. So by cutting the back, it's kind of like a little safety net for me. So it's not actually connected in. I want you to see that. Short, long, it's not connected in. Come through the back, it's not connected in. But when we comb it down, you don't notice. There's no bump or bubble.
Nick, Ogie Pineda's asking, how old are you, sir? Nick, you're amazing.
How old am I?
And a brand educator.
I'm like Yoda, 2,460 years old. I've been hairdressing Ogie for 35 years. I can't even believe it myself.
That was a good way to dodge the question.
Well, you know.
Ian said you're 79. Yeah, and Shavana.
I'm 69. Much better
Shavana
number.
Styles said, my trainer Jackie wants to get American Wave certified. She works at our Union Square location. So maybe you could reiterate our certification dates.
Union Square in New York. If it's in New York, we have certification this weekend. You can go to arrojoamericanwave.com. The site's being rebuilt, but it'll give you all of the it'll give you all the dates.
Jazz Coxon said you can't see the person behind Nick holding him up.
Come and stand over here, you, Corinne. Move in there.
That's why Joe's here.
Joe's here just in case. His hands will come in and I'll just keep talking. My Joey. Seriously, if anyone's interested in coming to hang out with us here in Brooklyn for Brooklyn Live, just send us a message. Don't just turn up. Send us a message and come and hang out with us. So now we're working on the opposite side, so the same thing, using the flat of the blade, not connecting to the underneath. Wide teeth of the comb, section, rotate. We did this lesson when we do our razor fundamentals. Comb, hold, place, and then cut hair before you cut hair, just melt that hair away.
Nick, here's a great question. Ruby Devine's asking, is the American Wave like a traditional perm, as in the fear of integrity when doing it on colored canvases?
American Wave is the latest technology in waving lotion. When we met with the permanent wave chemists, we realized that it's a non-thio-based waving lotion. It's kinder, gentler, softer, less smelly because we worked on the fragrance. And when we launched the product, we wanted to eliminate the word perm, just the same way that we've eliminated the word bleach. We don't say bleach anymore, we say lightener. The same way that we don't say straightener anymore, we say smoothing treatment. So not only do we have a branded product, American Wave, and I'll show it to you before you leave. If you stick around, we'll show you the product because we know it's in the closet. It's a service. Once you change the name, you change the concept, you change the chemical, then guess what else you do? You change the price. An American Wave in Arrojo is $400 for the service, and it's premium pricing for a premium service. And Joe's just brought the products out. They're right there. Arrojo American Wave. And for colored hair, we have American Color Wave.
Yeah, she said, as a colorist, I love the look of American Wave, but I'm fearful of coloring and perming. So what kind of options do we have with the Color Wave, Nick?
Well, Color Wave can literally, if the hair's healthy, I've seen American Waves on double processed hair. Yeah, so we can teach you. If the hair's short, it's always going to be short. The last thing you want to do if the hair's completely short. But her hair's so healthy, I would definitely think about waving this because her hair's so healthy. Obviously, she can't, it's too short now. But if she was coming in and saying, I want an American Wave, the integrity of this hair would definitely and could definitely work.
Great. Arade Lopez is asking, what is the color base of her hair?
As in the base color. Well, you know what? Why don't you stick around? Our colorist will be coming in and we'll find out exactly what her original color base is. I think she's probably around a level 5. That would be my estimation. A level 5. But, or we can have her lift up her arms, and if she's got some, you know, Ukrainian hair.
What about eyebrows?
Ah, there you go. I want to see the pits, but we'll see the eyebrows.
Oh my God.
I would say she's about a 5. That's what I would confidently say, but I'll probably be shut down completely. But let's see if one of our colorists comes in and can give us a better answer. So, fine teeth of the comb. Look for your guide. There it is. You'll notice if I put the comb, watch why I put the comb in. Look at the angle of the comb in relationship to where I'm cutting. So this is what we call square, and then in the nape there's a very light graduation. Flat of the blade, nice open stroke. Want to create that fluidity, that softness in the hair. And we remember this side we left a little shorter, we went a little higher, so we might even have more of a define. Now even though we did that, we don't want it to look, it's very kind of invisible, the undercut, because of our flatness of blade angle. So I'm using the flat of the blade to literally melt this hair away. And you can comb that hair up and you can see this kind of soft texture that we've created. Final section right in here. Flat of the blade. So you can see the difference. See how short it is here? And you can see how much more length we have right here. Look at the openness of the stroke, and notice how my wrist isn't moving. A lot of people tend to do this. It's a little heavier, not wrong, a little heavier. This is a little lighter. Okay, and also just move that hair around a little bit. See how it starts to develop and evolve. The hair's going to move this way. So traditionally that's how she pushes her hair. I'm now going to drop down the top and get to the best bit. Because the best bit really is going to be as we start to see how she looks once we start to cut the hair shorter around the face. But I'm feeling fairly confident now for the simple reason that the hard work has been done through the underneath. Let's bring out the picture one more time, Olia. Again, it's important to have a look at the picture. And again, from a lesson, we're showing you what we're creating. So we're showing you the lesson. And that's her inspiration. And that's something that we do a lot now. It's like one of my favorite techniques, no matter where I am, is asking my model or my client, always we ask the client, but we're always asking the model also, what does she want? How does she want it? Little healing oil. If the hair's the driest, the hair will be on the very top. So a little oil just adds a little bit more more slip, and my hydro mist keeps me moist.
Oh no. Nick, Ogie Pineda's asking, is it a pixie cut?
Well, you know, yeah, I suppose you could call it a pixie cut. I always tend to think that pixie is such a weird word, but she described it as a pixie cut, didn't you? Yeah. So it's a well-known, you know, term for a shortcut.
If you Google pixie cuts, you will see something similar.
There you go.
There you go. So now we know. All right, so now let's have a look and see what we're going to do. You might want to come around here, Corinne, so you can see the blade. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start to come flat again. We're going to disconnect. I'm going to come all the way from the back. And I'm going to keep that blade nice and flat.
Nick, we've got a great question from Amanda Outerbridge. She said, how many weeks would you reschedule this client if she wanted to maintain this length? I always have a problem razor cutting their second visit because you have to keep the hair in your fingers to cut it, and that's taking more than your normal 6 weeks worth of growth.
Well, you know what I do? I don't worry about cutting it with a razor every time. That's not important to me. Cutting the hair with a razor every time is not important. Just cutting the hair is important. So I would say every 6 weeks she wants to keep it like this, and I reassess it every time she comes. Joe, can you do me a flavor? Yeah, I got a little allergic dryness.
I thought you were moist.
I'm not moist enough. That's the problem. I need more moisture. All right, so let's get in here. Come through. Someone's trying to get into my house. I don't know who it is. Okay, so notice I'm keeping just some length here. Notice I'm keeping some length here. Claire. Okay, just distractions in the salon, that's all. Just distractions in the salon. Ed just came and left.
Oh, God, thank you.
It's time for a little hydration. Halfway.
We're going to watch you drink it.
I'm gonna watch you drink it.
New York water's good.
There were some Tito's, but
I'm gonna stick with the water.
I don't know if it's too early for that.
Jez Coxon said he loves Pixies and he loves the artwork in the background.
Oh, thanks, Jess. Okay, notice how the hair's getting longer. I'm looking for the guide right here. So I'm lifting the hair parallel to the section, flat of the blade. Let's get that blade moving a lot. Notice also as I comb that hair down after each cut. Always combing the hair around. The hair's parallel to the section. I'm looking right down on top of the hair. Right down on top of the hair. All the way through. Comb it down. Now I'm starting to move over the top of the head. So right here we're starting to get into the shape.
Looks great.
And I'm going to continue on over the top. So I'm going to drop her down. So it's more comfortable for me to cut. And I'm going to continue working from the back to the front. I'm going to start to elevate. Now when you get to this place in the salon, what I always want to try to do is move as quickly as possible. And the reason being is you kind of got to keep that inspiration flowing. Wide teeth of the comb, nice clean section. Keep everything nice and clean. The head can drop over just a little. And then you'll see I'm elevating and I'm looking through and the hair's falling down. As the hair falls down, I can see the guide and that's where I cut. And you're probably in the camera, you're probably looking at the hair cut. But every time I do the cut, do you know what I do? Every time I do the cut is I look in the mirror to look at my client. And I want to see how she's starting to to look to me. Because ultimately, as a stylist, it's all your vision. So you're always trying to look for the little nuances of how good that person's looking. And here, flat of the blade, really a wide open stroke. Now you can see, look, it jumps a little around the front. That's okay, don't get scared. Keep a little bit more length there. Keep a little bit more length there so you can play with it, because she's got a little wave right at the front there. All right, which is not a problem. I've been asking a lot about sectioning. Whenever I section, I put my thumb on my comb and then just let the thumb hold the hair. When you're working on the top, you don't need clips. Elevating the hair up, a little super open. And I'm now just reaching over the center. I'm just reaching over the center of the head or over the center middle, and that means I'll soon be moving on to the opposite side. As I move over the center top, there's a little bit more over direction. Over direction, you'll see the over direction. I'm combing the hair over and away from the section with a nice flat open blade. And really take out as much as you can with the section. In other words, to create more space. So when you pick up this hair, look at the softness and the translucency.
Nick, Ian's asking, would you ever dry the hair at times to see where the hair is falling?
No, not when I'm razor cutting, because I can't razor dry hair. What I can do is I'm looking now in the mirror and I can create the picture. So you can see, we're kind of seeing what's happening. She's got some product in her hair, so it kind of gives me a little bit more of a lived-in feel. We got this panel left to cut, and now it's time for me to come on this side.
Great. Nick, Maria Cinta said, I can't wait to see you do a long cut like the hybrid. Anytime soon?
Oh, yeah.
That's a nice reference.
Yeah, we like the hybrid. Yeah, we'll do some long cuts. I mean, we've been doing this now since, we've been cutting now for, since about November of 2016. So just stay tuned. We've been doing short, we've done long, and we're going to continue to keep changing it up. Okay, so now I'm going to work on the opposite side. We're getting closer and closer. I don't know if that's a good angle. Is that a good angle for you?
I don't know.
I think you come around this way, Corinne.
It's a bit of Nick armpit.
And a little bit of Nick pit. Okay, so just a couple of things as we're starting to work through. Let's just talk and remind everybody what we've got going on in the month of May. We have our Arrojo boot camp. We have next week's boot camp. It's men's hairdressing. And also the week after is going to be razor cutting. If you're interested, $1,500. It's a full week of boot size education. We call it bite size boot camp. On Sunday, the 7th of May, we have a certification for American Wave in New York. On Monday, we have a certification in Chicago. And on the 22nd or the 23rd, we have a certification for American Wave in Minneapolis. We're also going to be in Chicago. I'm going to be teaching a razor class. The cost is $400. You can sign up on arrojopro.com. And arrojopro.com, if you put in the code EXPO, you get a 10% discount. And we're also going to be back into Chicago to teach our inspiration live. You can come and meet us, come and hang out. See Corinne, myself, Alex, Blaine, Courtney, the creative team. We have a show in Chicago on May the 15th. Show starts at 7 o'clock. It's at the Greenhouse Theater. And $25 tickets. Tickets available at arrojoexpo.com. But we have a special code for today and tomorrow. The special code is EXPO, 50% off, $12.50 for a ticket to a hair show. Come and hang out with us. I'm working across the top of the head as I did on the opposite side. I'm not trying to make both sides match. Again, I'm just letting the inspiration flow through the razor. I'm using more the flat of the blade. We don't razor the hair dry, but we don't want the hair sopping wet. We're using a combination of Hydro Mist, which is our lightweight conditioner, and also our healing oil, because I'm a sinner. And then you look at the front, you start to see, you know, what are you creating as we're starting to get closer and closer to the finished look for my birthday babe.
Great.
She's turning 73 tomorrow.
Yeah, it's all Arrojo products keeping me young.
Yeah, that's right. She knows.
That's right, girl.
She knows.
Nick, Ogie Pineda's asking, is this cut okay for someone with a natural wave, or is it better for straight texture only?
You know what? We don't say, I think it's great for anybody. And it'll have a different effect if the hair's got a natural wave. Obviously, look at the hairline. But when we teach hairdressing, we try to teach people to think. We try not to give them hard and fast rules. I think that's a very important factor.
And Ian's asking if your pit color matches your base color.
I thought Ian would be asking that. He's from Manchester. It always goes into the gutter.
Yeah, and back to the hybrid, Maria Senta said she uses that cut so much and she would love to learn more. Maybe we could let our viewers know about our online subscription.
Yeah, we have an online subscription. It's $30 a month. It's available at arrojonyc.com, and you sign up for subscription. If you're interested in the cut, you can find it on the menu, and then you'll see whether you want to learn it. It's $30 a month. You can cancel at any time, and it's unlimited viewing. So now we've just got literally this one strip through the center before we get into our detail work. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come from the back, because I want to see, I'm always looking at the front. Comb this hair straight up, flat of the blade. Feel like we did you know, we did a pretty great execution so far. I really enjoyed the little star pattern on the underneath. If you're just joining in, you can go back and watch how we created the underneath of the cut. This is what we call planing the hair. Look at the maximum texturization there. So we're working planing through the hair. I will be picking up my scissors at the end, guys. Yeah, I'm not like one of these guys that says it's only got to be a razor. I think scissor cutting is a great complement to razor cutting. It's a safety net. But now it's really time for me to start to pull the magic together and see what we got. You can see how this side sits a little flatter, a little sleeker. She has that little bump and that little wave in here. She's never had short hair before, so she's gonna learn how her hair behaves. It feels a little full here, so as I'm looking here, I'm gonna start to take some of this out, and I'm gonna go a little bit more freeform now. So when you go freeform, what that means is, it means that you really just let your visual, it's like sketching. So we had the structure on the inside, and now this is a little bit more freeform, pushing that blade through the hair. You'll see this is tipping. When you tip into the hair, you create a little bit more space. The hair's still got some dampness to it.
Lauren responded about what base she used.
Oh, so what is she?
7.
Base 7, so I was wrong. But you know it's all about this base, no trouble.
Nick, we've got a question. Ogie Pineda's asking, what kind of face shape is perfect for that cut?
You know, any face shape. The thing is, Ogie, I think we spend a lot of time worrying about face shape, and if you know my type of hair cutting, or my type of philosophy, is not to really get too dialed into face shapes. I think face shapes are very subjective, and if you get the wrong face shape, somebody's told the client her face shape's this, and then you say something different, I think it's just too subjective. So face shape, as long as she's not got an extremely round face, you're going to be in good shape. So now we're going to keep nibbling away. Just using my fingers now, a little bit more tactile. Just a little bit more like use your hands as opposed to the comb. Pinch the hair flat. Let that hair start to dry out a little. Cute. Now we don't want to be too gentle. Let's bring this in a little shorter. Because the picture's already there. Now it's detail time. Now it's all about the detail. And you can see real close, look at this. A little wiggle right in there. That's her natural signature. So that's cool, but just be aware of it. Let the hair talk to you. Hello, Nick. Let the hair talk to you, have a look at it, see what it says. Yeah, this is the fabric that we're working on. And definitely soon it's going to be time for my scissor. I like to call that scissor time, like hammer time.
Nick, Wendy Levy's got a great question. She
Great.
said, what kind of razor are you using, and is there a difference between that one and a feather razor?
This is a feather razor. It's a feather plie. It's exactly the same ones as we sell. This is a special white one as a prototype, but we have them in red. That's our traditional. We also have them in wood. We made some handcrafted wood razors. Joe's going to open up the tool roll and he'll show you the red one. But this is a feather plié. Arrojo feather plié, these are 150. You can't get the white one, but you can get the red one, and you can also get different wood ones. This is the red one. It's a feather plié. It's the newest version of it, slightly heavier. So if you have one, if it's matte, it's not as good as if it's shiny. So the steel here is shiny, it's a little heavier. Thanks, Joe.
Great. And Sarah Moon's asking, how often do you change your blade?
Every haircut, Sarah Moon. There or thereabouts. Every haircut.
Wagner Martin is asking, where are you from, Nick?
I am from the ghetto.
Oh.
I'm from Manchester, originally from Salford. Came to America in 1994 and never looked back. So now I'm just lifting this hair up, straight up, and I'm just keeping length, but just putting in a little channel, little channels into the hair. That creates a little bit more space, because the one thing that she wants is she wants that dimension. So that just creates a little bit more space. You have to be careful when you're doing this technique, because it's easy to come up and tap your finger. So really just take your time as you do that. This kind of just puts a little bit more space, and I really want to let this hair dry, like to almost dry, before I then start to pick up the scissor, because I want to see when the hair expands how it sits and fits.
Nick, Wendy Levy's asking, can you purchase a razor on your website?
Yes, arrojopro.com, and if you're interested, put in the promo code EXPO. It's live, only for 48 hours, 10% discount. And it's a great tool. And once you buy the razor, I had a client come up to me in Savannah. She went, I bought your razor, it was so expensive. I bought it 7 years ago. I said, you still using it? She said, yeah. I said, well, think about it. It's lasted a lifetime. She's never had to buy another razor, but she told me she loved it. And we always have the blades. We always have the blades available on ArrojoPro.com.
Nick, Teresa Lupi says, Terry and Sal from Florida say hello.
Oh, well, hi back, and I'll be back in Florida at the Millennium Show. We're headlining the Millennium Show in Fort Lauderdale, so hopefully you can come and see us. I'll be doing a hair program and business program because I'm big into the business side of life too. Well, she looks great.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? This is it. So when you do something like this, guys, this is your advertisement right here. Today's the day that I'm going to get another client because A, she's excited. It's different. Yeah, it'll give her a new sense of kind of confidence. Everyone's going to notice, the people that she know, they're going to be asking, who cut your hair? So that's good. They're going to be talking about me. My little flappers are going to be burning. Let's just see if there's a few more things I can do before I pick up the scissor. So I just comb it down with the white teeth of the comb. All right, just comb it down with the white teeth of the comb. Now let's just have a look at the detail. So in here, if you come here and look at this profile side, this is looking good. Now it's combed down, and it's got two products in it. It's got the Hydro Mist, and it's got the healing oil. So what we'll do is let's pinch this in a little bit more, because I think if I pinch that in just a little bit more, it just creates a little bit more cheekbone. I like the length, and I like the way this connects. I really like that. So have another look again. Comb it down. You're always looking to see what you kind of like and what you don't like. But the details are the most important things. So I'm just tailoring it in and putting a little bit more space so it's not too fringy. So you see I put a little sharp piece right in there? A little sharp piece right in there allows this piece to move a little. So let's take that sharp piece a little bit more. Let's be wild. She's wild. She will be tomorrow, and she's Cinco de Frio.
Nick, Valerie Schrager said, I've been watching your work for years, still fab. Thanks, Nick. When is the Millennium Show? I'm a Goldwell user.
Oh, Millennium Show is very, very soon. It's in June, early June. Come on the side, Corinne. Also, for all Goldwell users, if you are interested in a Arrojo product, you also get the Salon Alliance points, so you can get to double dip. Because Arrojo, I just did a deal with Goldwell, that if you're a Goldwell salon and you carry a Arrojo product, they will give you points. On top of what we give you, you'll get some Goldwell Salon Alliance points. It's a great way for you to maximize your spend. Because Goldwell is Arrojo, we work hand in hand together. We're an independent company, so there's no ownership at all. But we're trying to make success together. Scissor time. So, if you're interested in scissors, Arrojo BMAC. So my scissors, how you feeling so far?
Wow.
Yeah? Do you think it came out the way you hoped?
I just looked at it different, like I'm a different person.
You're a different. What's your name now? Well, let me introduce you to Frankie.
Frankie. Why is it a British name?
It's not British.
It is.
Frankie, is it British?
I watched a movie, British movie, and there was a girl named British.
Let me introduce you to Olivia.
No, not sharp enough.
Oh, who do you want to be?
Nikki.
Nikki. They all want to be Nikki.
Nick, Akia Chisholm said, you're amazing. You've helped her so much in her cutting.
Oh, thanks.
And she said, I wish Terry would make his way to Atlanta. You were just in Georgia, right?
I was just in Georgia, but I'm hoping to get to Georgia soon. I know I go to see my good friend Jeff South at Salon Intrigue. So stay tuned, and hopefully we'll see you soon. We have plans. We're talking to some new people in Georgia, which is exciting. I was in Savannah. I passed through the Atlanta airport, so you could have met me. But I'll be back. So now really, white teeth of the comb. We're not going to be spraying the hair down with any more product. We're now just going to work this hair and then probably add one final product into the hair as our finishing touch. And later on today, we'll post the pictures, Corinne, of the cut, and you'll find them on our Instagram. Also, get connected to Arrojo Social. That's our online app where you can connect and see everything Arrojo. And we're soon going to be launching a competition on Arrojo Social. And the best thing about it is, the winner is going to be announced during our expo show. There'll be 2 winners, because it's going to be a photographic competition. One photograph is going to be based on American Wave. The other is going to be based on cut, color, and style. The winners get to actually join us in New York and work on our booth alongside myself and my creative team. So it's an all expenses paid trip to New York City, and we're going to celebrate that during our big expo show, which is going to be an amazing event where we have some amazingly interesting cast of talent, and we're securing new people all the time. But the main thing about our event this year, our expo show, the main thing about it is it's going to be celebrating the female hairdresser. So it's on the 20th to the 23rd of October. It's called Arrojo Expo. Women making waves in our industry. We already have guests. We have Ginger Boyle, who's going to be joining us from LA. She's one of my heroes. We have Charlie Price. We have Vivian McKinder. We have Gail Federici. So we got a lot of great people coming. And if you're interested, check out Arrojo Expo. It's a 2.5-day event. We obviously will have creative presentations from our creative team. If you like the images in the window, we're going to have a whole new collection of images. We're starting to work on the images within the next few months. So Arrojo Expo is the show, and it will get sold out. So if you're interested, there's an early bird pricing right now. The early bird pricing is, the typical show price is $849. Early bird show price $729, and it's going to be maxed out at 250 people, and we're already 30% of the way committed. So once we're full, because I got this brand new venue in the Greenwich Village. And are you going to be here in October?
Always.
Come and see Ollie. She's
You
going
come
to be,
to New York, you don't leave it, right?
yeah, she's going to be modeling for us, I think. She's so cute.
Nick, Ogie Pineda's got a few more questions.
Good. There's final few questions because we're getting close now, guys, to the finish.
She said, is it advisable to do this color on thin hair, and what is hair contouring?
Hair contouring? Joe, what's hair contouring?
I think that's more of a color question, yeah.
Something new. I'm not sure what hair contouring is, never heard of it. I'm sure someone can answer that question for you online. And again, you know what you've got to do with hair is practice everything. Whatever you do, don't feel like thick hair, thin hair, fine hair, round face, square face, yellow face, different face. Just practice. Find out when it doesn't work, you'll know, hey, I won't do that again. Yeah, if you don't take chances, you never learn. The amount of mistakes I've made in my career, but that's what's helped me to get better. I teach everybody, the only time you truly learn is when you make a mistake. You never learn if you do everything right, and if you're too scared to even practice, then you'll never go for it. So, I don't know how long you've been doing hair, but my advice is be brave, be bold, go for it. Don't take yourself too seriously, but take hairdressing. Take the career seriously, but don't take yourself too seriously.
Great. And She also asked, what is the difference of scissor, not razor, on this kind of a cut?
Well, scissor, I'm sealing the cuticle. Scissor's going to blunt the hair up just a little. Razor's going to potentially make the hair finer. It's going to add a lot more texture. And she does have a lot of hair. And the hair's expanding and it's getting fatter as it gets drier. So that's really what I'm kind of working on right now, and just pushing the scissor in a little bit more. I'm doing what we call some very deep point cutting. So it's very deep point cutting. It's going to add a bit more space. And there's a few ways to do it. That's kind of sealing the cuticle point cutting. Another way is to come from within. So you just chip little chips. So that's another way to take out a little bit more thickness. And I'm literally pointing the scissor as I go. That just adds a little bit more. And soon it's time to stop. I mean, really, it's been good for a while, but again, it's just that little refinement. And then we'll decide one more product. And for today's product, I think I'm gonna go with my defining cream.
Nice.
I think a little defining cream will add a little bit of definition. Then we'll blast it through with a dryer and see what we got.
Nick, Meg Jessup's asking, what shears are those?
These are the Arrojo BMAC. They're 335. They're a brilliant scissor, 5-inch, offset handle, Arrojo BMAC, made in Japan. I like to call them the more affordable Cosmo. And for me, and Cosmos are by Hikari, they're about $900. These are $335. We have a 10% discount code, so they'll end up being $300. You won't find a better scissor. Beautiful scissor for the price. You'll find a better scissor for more money, a lot more money, but you won't find a better scissor. And the promo code literally is live for 48 hours on Arrojo Pro, which is our professional online store for professional tools. What do we think? Do we feel like we did okay?
Yeah. Looks great.
Great. Okay, now it's time for us to just get rid of the hair, and then I'll finish it. So let's take this off.
And black, under black.
Oh, yeah, baby. Okay, so now let's go in with our little of this. This is called Arrojo Defining Cream. It's $22. Part of our Arrojo hair product, professional hair product. The nice thing about Defining Cream, it's a soft cream in a pot, water soluble. It's one of the softest products that we have. I'm not going to be scared. I like to take a nice amount. I always love to put the lid on because I hate it. If any hair gets into here, I don't like it. Place it in my finger. This is how I like to do it. This is how we do it. Place it in my finger. Show my client that I'm just going to rub that into the palm of my hand. Once it's in the palm of my hand, I'm then going to rub it into my hands until it disappears. So now I have a little film on my hand, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take that film and I'm going to work it. Work it. Can you work it? Bom dum chicka chow chow. Chicka bom chicka chicka chow bow. Can you twerk it? Can you work it? You push it all the way through. Yeah? You'll see the nice thing, it's very soft, very pliable, not stiff. This just helps. You know, you're going to really learn to love your hair products. Yeah, I love my hair products. I love what they do for me. I love what they do for my clients. Yeah? Little strays we just take away. Nice.
Ian said you're twisting it, Nick.
Ooh. Wait till I come back to Manchester.
Vincent Cherell is in the house.
Vincent Cherell is in the house.
And we're getting...
We've been using healing oil. I'll take a little bit more. That'll just add a little bit more softness. Precious oils. It's a glossing spray. And just working that. And now it's time for us just to style it the way you want to style it. You see, there's a lot of different ways in which we can style the hair. You got to get the product foundation in. Once the product foundation is in, then you can start to push the hair around the way you want it.
Nick, you're getting so much great feedback on this cut.
Oh, good.
Everybody loves it.
Well, we did a cut like this on the pink hair a few weeks ago. It looks similar to the naked eye, but what this does, that was cut with a scissor. This is cut with a razor. We came with a different approach completely, and just to share and show that there's many ways to do short hair. There's not just one way to create short hair. And you want to keep some length in and around so that she's got, once you razor cut hair, you create space. When you create space, it means that the hair moves a lot more. When the hair moves a lot more, it has that feminine feel while still being, you know, short, because I think a lot of women sometimes they think, I want my hair short, but it's got to feel like it's got a little feminine feel, a little feminine edge to it. Try not to make it too perfect, because too perfect won't look good. So, you know, when I'm styling, I like to sometimes use this hand is not my dominant hand. Yeah, this hand is more my dominant hand. So I like to use my undominant hand. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Nick, Kelly Wright is asking, how well would this cut work on extremely straight hair?
Yeah, with a razor, it'll look great because you can actually, you know, use hair products to push the hair around, give you the finish, the feel. The hair products will do it. The hair gets better over time. Never be scared. If a client wants a cut, just do it. Yeah, just go for it, guys. Yeah, that's what I'm always saying. I'm saying we got to go for it. Now, the key thing to this cut is the back for me, because the back is disconnected. If you come through here, there's a disconnection right in here. If you follow it through, and also there's a disconnection right in here. Look how short this is. Yeah, super short right in here, and then this disconnects, fills in. That's like a little star shape that we had underneath.
Nick, Vincent Cherell is asking, I need to buy a wood razor, which do you recommend?
Oh, they're all good, Vincent, and we have a 10% discount today. So the Arrojo razors that we have, the discount code is Arrojo is Expo. My favorite one is the, what's my favorite wood razor? What do I got here? Show me, do I have a wood razor in there? I might just have the red one. Wengewood. That's the way I went in, close, deep. Wengewood. We nailed it.
Boom.
Did we have fun?
I love her.
She looks good. She did a great job. Thanks very much, darling. Thanks to everybody for tuning in to Brooklyn Live. Thank you so much. I'm back to the city. because what we have to do today is I'm going to be photographed for the front cover of Salon Today magazine. I'm excited about that. I'm going to see my good friend Jeff Mason from SDX, and we'll go for dinner tonight and talk about business. I do have a couple of clients to do too. I have a lot of stuff to get through today as we're constantly busy. And if you're interested, check out Arrojo NYC. Remember, the month of May, we've got 3 American Wave certifications, New York, Minneapolis, and Chicago. And then we're also coming to Chicago on May the 15th, $12.50. Bring your friends, tell your friends, come and hang out with us. Corinne's coming into town with me, young Alex, amazing Blaine. We're going to do American Wave. We're going to do some hair coloring for you, live on stage. We're going to bring our presentation, our collection. I had a fab time in Savannah last weekend with Cosmoprof, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys out on the road very, very soon. So thanks again, and I will see you this time next week, I hope, because you know, I think I might be in Dallas. But we'll work it out. Don't you worry. I will be live no matter what. Awesome. Maybe from Dallas. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you soon.